Everybody channel. Today is Wednesday, April 5th, 2023, and we're about to kick off the stream today right here on Optimistic Futures. Oh yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and dive on in, take a look at the charts, and I haven't taken a look at all at anything today. So it's gonna be fun. We're gonna figure it out together. Before we do, let's look at the market news. So here we are, Wednesday, April 5th. We had ADP employment. We had U.S. trade balance, S&P finals, final U.S. service PMI, as well as ISM services. Sorry for all the tripping up of the words there. So we got ADP employment, the forecast here and the previous. So the forecast was 261, the previous was 242, and the current is 145. So pretty large reduction there in the ADP employment. U.S. private sector pulling back, adding 145,000 jobs in March, as opposed to the down from 261 jobs in the prior month. So pretty substantial, over 100,000 jobs difference added this last month in March versus in February. So a lot less jobs being offered, but nonetheless, U.S. economy still chugging along. What up, Tiny? Happy hump day. Alrighty. So, yesterday, we ended up cutting a little bit early because we kind of hit our end of the day drawdown maximum. Now, this is kind of a concept that I'm just focusing on a little bit because risk management is really the main thing that I'm focused on this month. April is risk management month for me. I'm going to spend a lot of this month leading up until the evaluation focusing mainly on risk management and maintaining my balance and growing it a little bit at a time, while at the same time just not losing very much. Obviously, that's what we're always doing, but I just wanted to put a little bit more stricter emphasis on cut and running when necessary. So let's see. Low today is down here at 41.12, and the high is all in pre-market, up here like 41.33. Not a lot of range on the day. We'll throw in this like double top area here. It's more of a triple top. 1, 2, 3. And that is up there at 41.27. So not a lot of huge range on the day. So even though we're kind of down here on near the lows, the highs aren't that high. So the 50 EMA is on the downward slope. Currently, the TTM is stacking towards the downside. 200 moving average is above the volume weighted average price. And right now, everything is in bearish form. Although, this did just double bottom here. Let me zoom out a little bit. It's kind of double bottom. I actually think it went a little bit lower. Now, here's the double bottom right here. Where was this spot? Starting our day off with some tech analysis. Just finding the support and resistance zones so that when we actually do go to trade, we find something that we like, we can utilize those support and resistance zones and help us identify when to get in and when to get out. So our bottom here being at 41.11, what we're going to look for next, as we can kind of see that this is beginning to bounce off the lower band of the VWAP, I'm going to look for a red to yellow move, kind of like what this move was here. I'm going to look for a move just like that. But I do think that the next move that's like that is going to be likely a little bit stronger as the VWAP and everything begins to work its way down. So currently we're on 12 ticks. I don't want to go for that much. The range just isn't there on the day. I'll go for 5 as sort of the feeler of things. And the range on this candle here from 1350 up to 17. So this is 16 ticks right here between these two candles. This is about looks to be close to about 20 ticks right there. So it does look like when we're getting these red to yellow moves, or when we're getting these sort of rips up, that we are getting a reasonable amount. Next thing we're going to check is volume. Average volume on the day is currently at about 5,000 contracts per minute, which is pretty good. Our higher volume candles are not particularly huge over that. Like this one's 8,000. This one's pretty big though at 16,000 contracts. What did that candle look like? It was almost a doji. Very wide range. This is right at 7 o'clock on that one. So that's the plan. We're going to sit back. We're going to wait for a red yellow move. And then go long off of it. You can see right now we're making a new low. So I'm just going to wait for that red yellow move. And then the move that we'll look for after that is the 9 getting above the 12. And then the 1226 crossover. So that'll be the order of things. Making a new low here. 3.2 to 3.6 on the TTM. 5 seconds left in this candle. It is kind of popping up a little bit off that low. New candle opening up red. And red on the TTM as well. Going from 3.25 to 3.5 to 3.8. That's some leveling off there. Only moving down on a factor of 0.3. Risk to reward. The managing that has to keep improving. I totally agree. It really comes down to risk management. I think that's going to be the biggest factor in terms of maintaining profitability. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like I'm just waiting for the lows to stop. We've already bounced a few times off the lower band of the VWAP. See here, right here, and now we're pulling back even more though. I'm actually just shocked that the S&P is even above 4,100. Like, honestly, to me, that's pretty crazy. Because if you go back pre-pandemic, we weren't anywhere near these levels. But then inflation is also crazy as well. So the market just needs to match that because the market has, that's what it has to do. .4.0 to 4.3 on the TTM. Making a new low there at 41.10. There's a yellow, a flash of yellow anyway. Moving from 4.0 to 4.26 to 4.4. Flash yellow for a second. Did not care. We're outside of the band of the VWAP. I'm tempted to take a buy here. I'm going to do it. We're in at 41.0950. This could be a bad idea, but Looks like it was. A lot more sell volume came in like right after we bought. I took that because we're breaking outside of the band of the VWAP. And then also, this just kind of seemed like a natural support level. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to hold this for a second. But if it gets much worse off than this, then I'm going to actually cut it. Let's take a look at some of the longer time frames. Probably should have shorted, I guess. Dang, man. Yeah, we're going to cut that. Bad trade on my behalf. Down 450 on the day. Take a look at some of the longer term charts here. That's a pretty massive sell-off there. Here we are at 746. Try again on that trade. We're in at 775. We're gonna get at 09. Take a look at the 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart's been on a downward trend since about 12:30 on, what day was this on? On the 4th. This one, the 5200 cross happened on the 15-minute chart. It looks like we're likely going to trend downward for a while. So we'll be looking to short into some of these drops. 15-minute chart has had a lot of resistance at the 50 EMA. Checking some of these longer time frames to see how they're playing out. There's a yellow there. We got a bottom here, 4105.75. This is a big drop from up here, about 20 tick drop. This one's yellow, but barely. I'd like to see like 3 TTM yellow candles. At this point, 3 would give us pretty strong confirmation of an upward move. One thing I've noticed is that the VWAP is actually, so we did get that trade, by the way. There's 5 ticks at 3 contracts. So our low of the day was like 450, and now we're down 262.50. I don't want to lose more than 2,000 in a day, which means I'm gonna start shooting to make about 2,000 in a day. I think if I can consistently make $2,000 a day, I think I can really get to where I intend to go at a reasonable rate. Not like a rate that is like overwhelming for me. I think I get a little like, I don't know. For those of you who've ever hunted, buck fever when I'm trading the evaluation sometimes. And the more I get exposed to it, the less I get that. And so I just think that it's just one of those things. You just get a lot of exposure to it. The more you're, done with that exposure, the easier it begins to get. 5.2 to 5.6 on the TTM 1 minute. You know, I started to want to see this stack up on the 1 minute side um, in order to really begin to see these gap fills begin to happen. I think well, you were totally right on seeing 4108s. Daily goals at remains at 100 or more per trade. Per trade, dude, that's awesome, Tiny. So if a scalp, I've been holding longer to give my stops room to work. That's actually probably pretty good. Okay, we're coming down here at 4106. We're gonna test this low. Low is 575. We just hit 4106 on this one here. So hopefully we double bottom and then move back up. The reason why I am wanting more of like a gap filler move to the upside is really just because we're so far down on the low. You know what I mean? So if we're that far down, then it's kind of like how long can it just continue to drop endlessly without coming back up for a little bit and then pushing back, you know, especially when we're outside of the VWAP band. This is typically a little more respected than I'm used to. Well, it's a little bit more respected than normal is what I meant to say. How can I put this? Usually the lower band of the VWAP or the upper band of the VWAP are highly respected. But lately, there we go. That worked. But lately, it's been a lot less respected. It's been kind of popping up in and out on each side, on the upper and the lower, and then continuing to trade outside the band for very long periods of time, sometimes like 15, 20 minutes. We're pulling back all the way to 4,100. We're at 4102.50 right now. We rejected off the 9 EMA there. So I wonder if taking the short off the 9 EMA would be worth it. We've been rejecting along it for a while here. This whole area rejected off the 9 EMA. Up there at 4113 zone. This was pretty large amount of contracts at 8,500, above the average. That's like the low, 4102.50. We're still trading 3 contracts. I'm gonna join the bid here. I'm gonna move this up to like 4105 and then just wherever it lands at before that. So we're trying to get a fill down here kind of by these lows. We did get a fill off of 3.25. And so I'm looking to get out just below 4105. I try to get out at exactly 4105 actually, which is just below this 9 EMA. 9 EMA is almost at 4106, but we've come up and touched the 9 EMA several times. So I just figured, 4105 also is kind of a natural resistance zone as well. And that would put us at, I think, 7 ticks. Yeah, 3 plus 4. Yep. All right, we're gonna look to flatten here. All right, so we got out on that actually at like 10 ticks. Pretty good trade there. So now we're positive on the day. We're up 112.50. So we're up 112.50. It looks like we're actually going to bounce this time. TTM going from 6.3 to 5.6. Yeah, I'm going to take a swing on that. Going for 12 ticks, and I'm going to look for an entry off of 4105. Nope, just going to join the bid because we're dojing here. So we'll see where it enters. Hoping it enters me around 4105. I kind of gotta stop saying that. All right, so we got an entry at 4104.50. So a little bit better than what we expected. We've got a 12 tick range on this. We're trying to get it at 4107.50. And we're taking this based off of the stacking TTM, the red to yellow, but the red to yellow with multiple candles. You can see this was only one yellow here. So I'm looking for at least 3 candles. Bouncing off that low of 4102.50 and looking for this, almost this exact setup. I want this one here though to break above the 9 EMA as well as above this 12 EMA. I want this to be a 1 minute candle to make a new high, and then that'll help confirm that upward move. When I say 1 minute candle to make a new high, what I'm talking about here is you can see the high of this candle here hit about 4106 and some change. So we're looking for this candle to end up green over this wick. That's what I mean by that. If when I say 1 minute candle make a new high, I don't mean a new high on the day or anything like that. What I mean is that I'm looking for it to break above this wick. So 4106.75 is the line in the sand. TTM stack looking like 6.2 to 5.8 to 5.3 to 4.9. So we're moving at a factor of about 0.5 or 0.4 to the next one. We have a 3 minute pullback on this, and I don't love that, but we did get a good entry at 4104.50, which is still below the amount that this is pulled back from. So I think we actually have room up to about 4109 or so. But I think we need to see the bounce here off this candle. If not this candle, then in the next few seconds on the next candle, which is in 10 seconds. We're coming up at the top of the hour here, which will be up in just 2 minutes. Currently, we're down 2 ticks in this trade. New candle also opening up yellow. That's favorable for us. Moving from 5.8 to 5.3 to 5.1 to 4.7. Bounce factor of 0.4. Oh yeah, bringing those words up. Bounce factor. What do you think? So I'm looking for a break above 675. I want to see, really I want to see this rip up to like 4109. Or like 4109.50. 775 was this sort of area here, 4108. And this one peaked at 950 here. There's that bounce somewhere. We're up about 4 ticks in this trade. 5.1 to 4.6 on the TTM. And got a flash of a possible crossover there. Moving from 5.1 to 4.55 to 3.9. This is looking more favorable for long based off TTM movement. I'm going to switch to a 3 minute chart and see if we've got a red to yellow yet. We don't. We'll have a new candle right at 8, which is in about 30 seconds. We went from 8.89 to 9.0, so it's almost flat. There's even potential that this one ends up switching to yellow if we get a little surge here in the next 10 seconds. There's a little bit more sell-off though than I want to see for this. Switching back to that 1 minute chart. Ed Art, member of our community, says he's done for the day. We do have an awesome Discord community, which if you guys are not a part of it, you're definitely going to want to join in on that. We have some pretty good conversations going on there. A lot of people come in and talk about their trades on the day and what worked for them, what didn't work for them, etc. And I find that stuff valuable personally. I do read every comment that's posted in there. I don't always have time to respond, but I do read through those every day. Failing to get this breakout here. Rejected on that 12 EMA there, but still stacking slightly on the TTM. I don't know if we can trust it now. Excuse me. There's a red. I said I don't know if we can trust it because you can see the TTM's flattening on this curve here. And we did just make a new low there at 402. We're currently down 10 ticks in this trade. 4.2 to 4.2 right there. Now moving up to 4.0 on the TTM. New low on there at 4101.75. So this was quite the rejection. We went from 4105, rejected down almost 20 ticks right here. It's actually quite a lot of range. Currently down $225 on the day. My goal is to earn $2,000 in a day and do that every day. Bouncing off that low. This is actually a nice looking bounce. You can see TTM went back to 3.8, now 3.6-ish. Switch over to the 3 minute chart. I want to see this one go red yellow. I think that'll be really important for a longer term breakout. When you look at this on the 3 minute chart, you can see it's sort of rejected several times off the lower band of the VWAP. It's just weird, actually. It's not a very common thing that I see. TTM movement going from 9.1 to 9.3. Currently, we're down about 4 ticks in this trade. This is going from 9.1 to 9.2 to 9.3 currently on this 3 minute candle. So I think over potentially this candle and on into the next candle, there's that flashy yellow. This is the 3 minute yellow on the or the yellow on the TTM 3 minute chart. This is the one that I'm actually really wanting to see. And then hopefully we get a yellow on the 5 minute candle. I'm calling the chart the candle. I don't know why. I don't know what's up with that. So what I could have done differently on this trade is I could have taken some profits right here around this 4105 zone and then either shorted it again and then purchased again down here on the bottom, or just not shorted it and just waited for the pullback and bought again on the low. So that's what I could have done, in my opinion, differently. That would have actually earned more profit on this trade. All right, so this is going to be another attempt at that breakout. This one here failed to do that 1 minute high to make new, or 1 minute candle to make a new high. So we're going to see if this one does the 1 minute candle to make a new high. It looks a little bit better. The 26 and 12 are much closer together on this one. The TTM is more stacked than it was over here. And I think that we were a little early on this trade in this zone right here. I think we were a little early on it. Although from here to here was a very nice trade, and from here to here was a nice trade. This short would have been also a very good trade, and a purchase off the low of like around 4102. I think would have been a very sensible move. Because then we would have gone in at like 4102, gotten out at 4105, and still gotten 12 ticks on the trade. Still pulled 450 in profit right there. And so I think that would have been a very nice move. And I think that we'll try to remember that for the future to be able to utilize that. We're going to watch out for resistance here at 4108, which is right where the EMA 35 is. And you can see we're actually pushing up quite a lot. We're 1 tick below our sell. And we're moving on towards a cyan switch. Pulling back some on that. I'm going to flatten it, take the profit. There we go. We're out, and we're up 450 on the day. So we're about 25% to goal. I do think that we're going to see a rip here very shortly. I'm going to try to get in along like 4105, 4106 zone. Might be a little too aggressive of a pullback. Just gonna hit join the bid since it is pulling back. All right, we did get an entry at 4106, and I'm gonna look for a move now up towards 4109. I may look to get out at 4108, actually. 4108 would be right here at the EMA 35. Well, how am I in 6 contracts? Yo, that's weird. I shouldn't be in 6 contracts. I'm gonna flatten it and just get out of here with profit. My account can't even support 6 contracts, but here we are. TOS issues, I guess. I'm just looking for it to fill now. I'm hoping that it just lets me out. Come on, dude. Okay, let me out with a micro profit on there. Should not have let me in with that many contracts. I don't know why that happened. Just the TOS bug, I guess. But we're going to get back into this trade here on this pullback. Let's see where it lets us in. TOS has a lot of lag issues. Let us in at 575. Not a bad entry. And we got a cyan switch there. Possible crossover on 1226. 9 is above the 12. The EMA 50 is still pointed downward, so I don't love that. And the 200 is still above the VWAP. So because of those factors, I'm going to go for less. I'm going to go for 4107, which I think I can go for 4107.50. Really, I think 4108 is on the table, but I'm trying to hit 2K. I'm at 750. TTM going from 0.58 to 1.2. We just need us to move up 1 tick and hold there, like move past it. Essentially, I tested this EMA 35. We've got a 9 above 12. We've got a 1226 crossover now. We've also got cyan switch. This should be ripping more, like at least faster, at least up to this EMA 35. If it doesn't do that, I'd be very surprised. But there is an odd amount of resistance right here at 775, which this actually came up and tapped, which is above our sell order, by the way. So we should have been filled. Going from 0.58 to 1.1 to 1.6 on the TTM. We have moving average crossovers. Excuse me. We've got a hammer candle here. Wow, this should have popped by now, and so that makes me a little sketchy. I may end up cutting this. I'm gonna first see that, and then I'm gonna jump over here. I actually intended to go to a 3-minute chart and see what's going on here. Okay, so 3 minutes is actually flashing a possible crossover at 1226. 3 minute went from 8.8 to 8.4 to 8.0 on the current candle, and we'll have a new 3-minute candle in less than a minute. Looking at the 3 minute, it looks a little bit better than the 1 minute does. So I'm going to stick with my trade idea. Glad I did. Up 862.50 on the day. And I'm going to look to get in again. Maybe around right here along 4107. I'm going to join the bid here. And just see where it enters. Went on past. Just got a standing entry. I'm just trying to see where it'll actually enter the trade. Man, this software is slow. 4108 and a quarter. And I'm looking for a move up to, I think, about 4112, honestly, or 4115. We are getting a very nice bounce off the lows here at the top of the hour. 8 o'clock, for whatever reason, tends to be a more bullish hour. I don't know why. We're going from 7.9 to 7.0 on the TTM3, so that's looking very good for upward momentum. That, to me, tells me we have room probably up to about 4113. I'm looking to get out of 4111 in a quarter. And let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. 5 minute putting in a yellow. That's looking strong. Going from 9.8 to 9.4. Should have a new 5-minute candle here in just about 2 minutes. Switching over to the 1-minute side, which is putting in a possible crossover of the 50-200 moving average. This would give us a very nice bullish momentum. We're almost at that trade order. I'm going to go ahead and cut it, take the profit. We'll just see where it lets us out. All right, let us out at 4110. That puts us up $1,125 on the day, and out of 2,000 is our profit target. TTM1 looking very nice. Now the real question is, where is the next resistance level? I am thinking that it's going to be like this EMA 35 here, which is right there at 4113. Or possibly this EMA 50, which is right around 4115. So we're getting a pullback now to about 950. I'm going to join the bid here on this pullback. And we'll see where that actually enters, since it is so slow. All right, got the entry at 9 1/4. And we're pulling back to about 9. I'm going to try to get out at 4111. which I think seems pretty reasonable. This is going from 7.9 to 7.1. Like I said, I think we have room up to like 41.12, 41.13. Question is, do I have the patience to wait for that? 7.1 to 6.3. Yeah, I think 41.13 seems pretty reasonable. I'll do 12.50. Let's see, this one double topped at 41.11.50. We'll see if this pushes up through it. We should have a new 5-minute candle as well. Okay, good. So this CTM yellow, or the CTM came in as yellow, going from 9.4 to 9.0 on the TTM 5-minute side. This one also showing resistance at 41.15. I think 41.15 is going to be a pretty solid line in the sand. How far are we from this crossover? Probably about 6 minutes. All right, let's take a look at the 1-minute side. CTM moving from 3.4 to 3.7. I'm going to call it 3.8 to 4.0. So kind of some leveling off there actually on the TTM. 9 is above 12. 9 and 12 both getting above the 35. That's what we want to see. Next move I want to see on the moving averages, I want to see the 9 and the 12 get above the 50. That'll really help confirm this upward move. And then the next move after that, I'd want to see the EMA 35 cross above the 50. And that would really just give us that solid upward movement towards 41.15. And potentially a test of the VWAP here, which is right at 41.18. 41.15, though, has resistance on the EMA 35 on the 3-minute and the 5-minute side. So I don't want to really test 41.15. So that's why I'm trying to get out at 41.12.50, which is about 10 ticks below where I think that resistance level is. I still think that there's enough room in this trade to move up to that zone to 41.12, 41.13 area. 9 is approaching a crossover the 50 EMA next. CTM movement going from 3.78 to 4.04 to 4.2. And current candles at 4.39. So this is 4.24, 4.39. Hammer candle there. Definitely more buys coming in over the last few minutes, but this candle in particular is putting a bit more rejection than I want to see, but some consolidation above this 50 EMA is just fine. As long as it stays above the 9 EMA, that's really what I'm mainly concerned about. We have about 5-6 seconds left on this candle. It's pulling back, rejecting off of this zone here, off of 41.10. Pretty heavy rejection, all the way down to 41.07. We may end up cutting this. It looks like we probably are going to. A lot of sell-off on that candle. It's funny because my intuition was saying, you know what, maybe we take the profit, even if it's small. There may be another opportunity to get in along with CMA 50, and I didn't take action on that. So that's a little frustrating, but you know, we're not down very much in this trade. We're down just 1 tick. We are up $1,125 on the day. Like I said, my goal is $2,000 a day, and I don't want to lose more than $2,000 a day. I'm trying to make sure that I keep that risk management to where we're earning every single day with 2,000 as my drawdown focus. So really, I should probably make my drawdown be only 1,000. And with a $2,000 profit goal. That way we're rocking a 2-to-1 ratio. And like I said, I'm really focused on risk management above all else this month. Having said that, I may actually cut this trade. Just because you can see a little bear flag forming there. We'll see if we get this bounce off this EMA 35 zone. I'm going to take a look at the 3-minute chart to help confirm or deny our moves. Okay. 3-minute TTM going from 6.2 to 5.7. We'll have a new candle at 8:21, which is in about 10 seconds. I think that we can wait that 10 seconds given the profit that we have on the day so far. We are down 300 in this trade now. So that's kind of really the maximum. I don't want to lose more than 300 in a trade. Going from 6.2 to 5.6 to 4.7 on the TTM. Excuse me. That's a movement of 0.9 on the upside. Average 3-minute volume is 10.5K contracts. And for the last 3 candles, we've been trading below that. Okay, we are getting a bounce off that 4107 zone. So we're back to break even in this trade. It's amazing how fast $300 moves. You know what I mean? I would really like to see a 3-minute candle to make a new high. So that would be this 3-minute candle closing above 4110. Right now we're at 9.25. New candle going from 5.6 to 4.4. I think that looks pretty decent. We are popping back up to 4109. Maybe I should have killed this trade and then got in again. That's probably the 3rd time I think I said that today. So I need to take that advice and just take those profits as we're going up, and then wait for the pullbacks and then buy again. Because I think that I actually have more profit opportunities in here. I just need to be aware of them, I think, a little bit more aggressively, if you will. Okay, so I'm going to throw a resistance level right there. Oops. I'm going to throw a resistance level right there at that 4110. We can zoom back in. Right here. All right. Now we're going to assess the moving averages again on the 1-minute side. Right now, 9 is above 12, so that's good. They're both above 35. Again, also good. TTM on the 1-minute side is pulling back. I want to see this 9 and 12 get above the 50 EMA. I think that's really important for this breakout to continue, for this trend reversal to continue. We are only up about $7 off the low, so it's not a ton of momentum. ES being down $20 on the day, which is also a pretty tight range. I have a new 3-minute candle here right now. 3-minute candle putting in a possible crossover of the 1226 EMA. And 9 is still below 12 on the 3-minute, so I don't like that. TTM going from 5.6 to 4.5 to 3.3. So we are still moving upward on the TTM. It's at a pretty decent rate, but the chart is not reflecting what the TTM is sharing. And so because the chart is not really reflecting this breakout, which it should, but I think it's one of these things we may have to wait until 8:30 to actually see this full breakout happen. Also, too, if you notice, the EMA 35 is on the 3-minute chart has moved its way down to 41.12. So that kind of even tightens up this this movement here. I'm going to take the loss on this, just because this is like taking a very long time. There's seemingly more probability of a false break here. I know that we could have got out several times with some profit, and that would have been nice. But taking a loss there of about 300 or so. Up 780, 750 on the day. It's kind of frustrating. So we were up at 11.25, I think was our margin there. I'm going to rejoin down here, though. So this puts us in. This lowers our cost basis by about $2, which is pretty good. Because I do still think that we actually have more range now in this trade, up to 41.12. But we reduced about $2. So I'm going to put this seller over here at 11.50, and I think that this will actually end up working out more so than the first trade would have. I honestly wish that I could just accumulate contracts at this zone, because I think I would just be buying up a lot of contracts at this point in time. TTM 5 going from 9.0. Here, we'll take a look at each individual one. So 9.4 to 9.3 to 9.0 to 8.7 on the TTM 5. And we're just about 3 minutes out from 8:30. So we'll be looking for the 8:30 volume push. This is pulling back actually really heavily off of this. So it looks like this breakout failed. $41.10 ended up being our line in the sand. The very peak of this breakout was $41.10.75. This 3-minute candle filling up with buys. We're just about 1 minute into this 3. TTM going from 4.5 to 3.5 to 3.1. I'd like to see a cyan switch on the 3-minute side. I think that would look really helpful for this breakout to actually continue. The fact that this is pulled back like $6 off of that high there, though, gives me a lot less confidence in this breakout. Let's zoom in on this 1 minute side and see what's going on. 1 minute actually switched TTM red. And we're going to cut this. Yeah, we're out. Okay, so another loss there. That puts us up 450 on the day. Our peak of the day is up 1,125. You know what trading is, though? It's easy come, easy go. And so you have to almost disconnect yourself with that, with the outcome to a degree. It's really about that sort of almost emotional detachment. Of course, after we cut it, we get this pop. I honestly think that this is going to actually break out. Like I do. But it's just a matter of we sort of need to consolidate here along this 4105, 4106 zone before we actually get this pop up. 9 is below 12 though, and we got a 1226 crossed over to the downside. And had I been watching the 1 minute chart, I wouldn't have taken the last 2 trades I should say the last trade, not the last two trades. The trade prior to that, I had actually traded up here. But had I been watching the 1 minute chart versus the 3 and the 5, I probably wouldn't have taken this trade, mainly because I could see that this was actually crossing towards the downside. So I think I would have not taken this trade. So here we are at 8:30. We'll see if we get the volume push. Three-minute TTM moving from 3.56 to 3.27 to 2.58 on the current candle. It's almost like, how can this not break out? Is like the question. I'm gonna join the bid again down here. This time we're in at 650 though, and I'm going for like 20 ticks. I think that might be potentially a little aggressive, but that's actually right up here at the top of the EMA 35. 20 ticks is an extremely aggressive trade, and even if we end up making this full 20 ticks, we'll only make back what we lost on those last two trades, which is unfortunate. But you know, trading is easy come, easy go, and it's very important to remember that. Popping up to 4108. On the 3-minute chart, moving from 3.2 to 2.2, which is a pretty aggressive move, honestly, on the 3-minute chart. To have a full point of momentum on the TTM. Currently bounced up about 12 ticks. I'm going for 20 ticks on this. It's an extremely aggressive trade, but I think that it has this potential. So I haven't checked in on the comments in a while, so I'm just gonna jump in here. Missed your entry. Sorry to hear that. I think there's another few opportunities for more entries. Big boys don't want to break out from this. Yeah, I totally agree. It really seemed like they were really putting a lot of emphasis to keep that down, but it just doesn't seem like it could stay there. In fact, this is a really big surge here. Ripping all the way up from 4106 to 4111. We almost did that entire 20 tick move. It just stopped short about 2 ticks below my sell, pulling back now to 4110. That's a 6 tick pullback. We're about 15 seconds out to the next 3-minute candle. On this 3-minute candle, if you notice, we did break above that resistance zone. We're pulling back exactly to the resistance zone that we labeled. Possible crossover coming in on the 3-minute side. This actually looks even stronger for a bigger gain. 9 is now getting above the 12. I'm still going to keep my sell order right here just because the EMA 35 is there. But frankly, I think this is going to break out to 4115 area. Came up, kissed our sell order several times, like 2 or 3 times. All right, we're ripping up through that. Got that sell. We did end up breaking our original high of 1125. Now we're up at 1237.50. We made 750 on that trade. And just think about making that trade even once per week. I mean, that's pretty incredible. $750 a week off a single trade that took 6 minutes. You know, could be life altering for a lot of people. And so that's why I'm saying I'm focused so heavily on risk management now, as opposed to being super focused on the profits. My profit target on the day is $2,000. That would replace what we lost yesterday, and then a little bit some after that. Okay, so we're gonna look for a little pullback here. I'm gonna take a look at the 1-minute chart though before I take an entry. Okay, so we're actually on a pullback candle, which is good. That's what we want. I would like to see this pullback to probably 41.11. I don't know if we're going to see that much of a pullback. I'll put an entry here at 11.50, which would just be a 2-tick drawdown, or 2-tick pullback. Words. No fill there at 11.50. Came and tapped it a couple of times, but no fill. Just trying to get in here at like 12 or so. All right, we entered at 12. I definitely don't want to go for 20 ticks on this trade because I just think that's very aggressive. So this pullback here was very minor and very quick. And TTM now stacking on the 1 minute side, going from 0.4 to 0.8 to 1.2, moving at a factor of about 0.4. We're going to measure this out, see where we should be getting out on this trade. Okay, so TTM 3 is, we're just about 15 seconds from new candle, but we're going from 1.8 to 0.29. So looking nice there. There is that pullback to 11.50, which was my original intention for the entry, but you know, we're in at 12. It's not bad. We are bouncing up the EMA 35. 9 is above the 12 on the 3, and we're about to get a 1226 crossover here on the 3 minute side. TTM going from 0.25 to 1.2. Very nice movement. Still moving at a factor of about 1 point, which is great. Watch out for a line in the sand at 1350 though. There on that EMA 50 on the 3 minute side. Checking in on the 1 minute candle, or 1 minute chart, I should say. I don't know why I keep calling charts candles today, but you know, whatever. Okay, so I actually see a 200 moving average here at 1675. So probably want my entry to be below that. Now we're going to take a look at the 5 minute. And we're doing all this to sort of measure the range of this breakout, intentionally before the breakout actually happens. Now, 5 minute has a EMA 35 there at 14 and the 50 here at 1570. So I'm thinking 41.15 is the proper exit zone here for this trade. I'm going to put my sell order right there at 41.15, and we're popping up to 1375 right now. Now up to 14, which is right at the EMA 35, so we may watch for a little bit of resistance here. I'm hoping that we just get a rip up towards the EMA 50 on the 5 minute side, which would rip through my sell order and on up a few ticks past that. I'm going to make sure that we clear the cash so that TOS is working as fast as it possibly can. There's a pop to 1475, came up just 1 tick below my sell order. I'm going to flatten here and take our profit. Got out at 41.14 instead of 41.15. We're up $1,537.50 on the day out of our goal of $2,000. Now, I think that this is going to continue to pop up, especially because the 3 minute side just got the TTM switch, the cyan switch. One of the most powerful moves in trading. We also have a video on that. It mainly refers to trading it with stocks, but we have refined our futures trading strategy with it over the last 9 months. And a lot of the strategies that are spoken about in that video can be used on futures as well. Pop it up now to about 1450. By the way, if y'all chilling, y'all hanging out, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. What up, Ed Art? Good to see you here, brother. Good to see you. So we're up $1,537.50 on the day. Our goal is $2,000 on the day. Pulling back to about 41.14. Like I said, I think that we have movement up to potentially about the view up at 41.18 there. 3 minute now getting a possible crossover of the 5,200. If you notice there on that, right as we got that rip, we also got a 1226 crossover on the 3 minute side. So I'm going to be looking for a pullback to probably about 1250. right here. And all right, got an entry at 1275. I don't really want to go for that many ticks. So I'm gonna put an exit at 1450, and I'm gonna reduce my wow, that was quite the drop. So not really, just pull back to 12 bucks. So I'm gonna put my exits at I think I'm gonna go for like 8 ticks. Seems pretty reasonable to me. $2 moves. CTM3 moving from 1.6 to 2.9. My nose is a little stuffy today. So if you see, we actually ran into resistance there at 1350, which was the right where the EMA 50 is on the 3-minute side. Having said that, I'm going to put my sell order at 1350. And I'm going to take a look at the 5-minute chart, which has been putting in some yellow candles on the TTM. And this movement going from 7.3 to 5.6 to 4.3 on the TTM5. That's looking really nice. And TTM5 or TTM5 5-minute candle has movement available up to 1375, which is would really be a rejection off the EMA 35 on the 5-minute. So this is one of the reasons why I put my sell order at 1350. It's just below the EMA 35. Although I do think that this will eventually rip out to like 41.18, so which would be another 20 ticks above where we're at currently. Switching to the 1-minute chart. Which now has the 200 moving average at 1630. And TTM moving from 3.17 to 3.3 to 3.5 to 3.6. Okay, so TTM 1 minute is actually kind of leveling off on the movement. Having said that, I think I might just cut this trade and take this tiny loss. Again, it's about risk management, not winning every trade. That's not what it's about. It's not about winning every trade. I'm glad I cut that. That was a loss of 150 bucks. So that puts us at 1387.50 on the day. But you can see the TTM leveling off on that 1 minute chart. So we may actually get a pullback down to like 41.11. Which is why I actually ended up cutting that. Is really because this TTM was beginning to level off on the 1 minute chart, giving us an indication and potentially a prediction of this pullback and consolidation before another rip. I say before another rip because if we look at the longer time frames, you can you can just very clearly see that this is going to continue to push up at least to the VWAP. But it's just a matter of, do I want to hold through those pullbacks? And this is pulling back now to 11.25, all the way down to 10.25, all the way down to 41.10. I may take an entry here. Taking a long entry off this pullback. I entered at 950, and I'm just going to look to get out at 1050. I'm going to go for 4 ticks on that. I actually don't like this trade, so I'm just going to go just try to get out of it pretty quick here. I thought I would like I thought this would bounce a little bit more. All right, we got out of that with a little micro profit, up 1462.50 on the day, off of 42 contracts. Let's figure out what our fees are. We're gonna take 42. We're gonna multiply by the fee of $5.58. So that is $234.36 in fees. and we're going to subtract our gross profit off of that. That means we're actually up $1,228.14. Now that would be life-changing income, would it not? To be making $1,200 in a day. I mean, it's pretty incredible. It very much looks like a very optimistic future there. Would you not agree? Always, Tiny. I hope you have an amazing day. How is it possible that you had a clearly it doesn't keep time very well in the comments? All right, pulling back to 4108, 4109. And we're coming up here on 845, which over the last 2 months, 845 has been a big volume push zone. Let's take a look at the very, much longer time frames here. Okay, so we did get this. It is 845. So first, let's look at the 5-minute chart and see what's going on here. What is going on? I don't know why I wanted to say that, but it just came out of me. That's my soul. Going from 5.6 to 4.9 to 4.1. We're actually stacking upward on the TTM on the 5-minute chart, and you can see it kind of bouncing there off around 4110. But I want to take a look at the 15-minute chart. Mainly for that very reason. I don't know if you guys caught it, but it was flashing yellow for a moment there on the 15-minute TTM. That's why I wanted to check out the 15-minute chart, because 15-minute chart is really good at predicting larger breakouts. And you can see here about 5 days ago at on March 28th, you can see the 15-minute chart actually got a 5,200 crossover there and ran up from 4,000 all the way up to 41. Excuse me, to 4170. Pulling up now to 10 1/4 and getting a yellow on the 15-minute chart. Let's switch back to the 1. All right. Getting a little pop here. I just noticed the EMA 35 on the 1-minute chart just recently got above the 50. I'm looking for an entry off of 10. I think 10 is actually too far back. Wow. Totally missed that move. Drop that to 1150. We totally missed that rip, unfortunately. So I have a standing entry at 1150. We'll see if it actually enters. Major pullback there to 975. Did you see the sell orders come through this? Holy moly. So we entered right at 4110, which is not a terrible entry. But I don't actually like this trade. Our exit's at 4112. Just gonna look to get out at 1075. I'm gonna cut this. Hoping it lets me out soon. All right, so let us out at 950. Loss of 2 ticks on that. We are up 1350 on the day. Three-minute getting a cooling candle there. So this looks less favorable for the breakout. I may start looking at getting some shorts in. We'll see if it consolidates here around 4110 for the next few minutes, and then see if we get a subsequent pop off that. On the 3-minute side, you can see the 9, 12, and 26 are still above. They're still crossed above, but the 9 is getting closer to a downward cross. The TTM is cooling off on the 3-minute side. There is a pretty good potential that this could pull back to like 4106. Five-minute TTM is still stacking up though. 5.6 to 4.9 to 4.3 to 3.4 on the current candle. Also, the 26 slope, like 26 is still sloping downward on the 5-minute. So this does also give us more